referred to in by United Nations when it comes to judicial decisions on environmental impact. I was imagining Jonah the meant to be one old man. And when I came to this meeting today, I was highly embarrassed to see that he's such a small, young fellow that I'm even older than. I had to embrace him. I told him, I said, young man, you don't know what you have done. You know, I was there when Otorogun was commissioned. Let us say, ask her some people. I won't pay her. What means you pay her? Look, I won't hear. I can't cry about this matter. What I'm saying is that I cannot longer cry. So I was happy when the Delta State Ash Council came. I probably thought I should take it to dancing. I don't let us rejoice because your question has reached the point we can no longer die. I'm not here to talk about that. Momena, Jonah went to court when there were no legal frameworks. I want to let you know that. So the fundamental legal framework we have is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. First. What the community went to court to do, I thought that that's such a brilliant lawyer. Is the lawyer still alive? Great. Now, they asked for, and I'll close quickly. I'll answer your question. I'm mindful of time. They asked for certain reliefs that please stop this gas flaring. It is killing us. You don't talk. The one in Uzeri has been on since the late 50s. It never quenched one day. And tonight they try fish, they try cocoa gari. I think Jonah don't tell them in fact, you don't have cocoa gari. No talk other side, no talk law. So now you went there, and the Federal High Court granted everything that you asked for because you said it was a violation of your fundamental rights. So when you mention laws, laws are many, and President Buhari signed some recently before he left office. But the most important one is the Petroleum Industry Act, which addresses certain issues. But you know that the problem is Jonah's case, the rest case, they won. But you know, and I'll say this, that in closing, I'm mindful of time, I have quite a lot of things to say. I want to remind all of you, those of you from Akbar, from Engeba, I want to remind you certain things. That before when share first come, you don't say as they drill the oil, we don't know what they do. Especially that time I start big fire for Kukuri. I come from Africa, a big fire also there. Now, I remember saying share will come out, they go plant cassava for Akbar, will plant they'll do poultry for somewhere, do this, they will come out for them, they will also they plant orange orchard. Share that time, they get one department they call Food and Agriculture Department. Share that time, people like say, like our people. That kind of white men, they run share that time, you know. Until some of your brothers, when I know, can't enter share, they can't go up and they can't run things for share. Abi? When they run things for share, now they use on our head, they knock each other. When government say they do this, or when they do this for government, that time no deal. Now they can let share start to buy. Share put on from one company to a very big company. When we say it work back to cost wahala. So say they don't pack from the entire worry down and the rest. Carry all that thing, give share flat. Now, the thing about it is this. With the petroleum industry, what Shell was doing at that time before it became a rogue company was that it was carrying on community, what they call corporate social responsibility. But what the Petroleum Industry Act has done by the mandatory incorporation of those community trust development funds is to ensure that monies are made available for the development of the community. But that's not enough. Because I remember the whole of this thing is, we're talking about banks not too long ago. If you consider the combined provisions of the recently enacted Climate Change Act and Electricity Act, you will realize that private sector companies that play a major role in the oil and gas industry are actually mandated to make investments to help the environment and the places where they work. But most, again, if you consider section 12 of the Constitution. Maybe when time for question comes, I can throw light on it. International law is the very, very important source of providing framework for interventions in arresting environmental degradation and also giving compensations for the spoliation of the environment. Many of you are complaining, from those of you from all those places. I know that you are suffering enough. They no longer find oil in my village because Shell finished all the oil there. So they finished the destruction and they moved away. So the people where they are currently doing things now, maybe offshore, and that's why you find out that the job communities, I don't see many of them here. I see many more of Urugu and the rest of them here. But the job communities, and they are comfortable because they give them small things and they blind the leaders, and then they can carry on. So I'll conclude by saying that there is a plethora, there is a lot of laws. Very many, too numerous to mention, either international law, even our local law. There is one law I will close by mentioning, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, the Nigerian law, not the international law. But the bottom line is that with all of these laws, even National Act, Next Year Act, all of them, nothing comes out of this unless there is a willingness to enforce it. You know, madam, that environment issues of compensation, issues of oil, like African matter, you can't do anything. I wonder why His Excellency created oil and gas ministry and police commissioner there when they cannot implement any policy that will affect anything. Maybe they can just intervene between quarrels between oil companies and communities, but nothing can come out. The hope is this, that the only hope I have is that perhaps we can build on the advocacy that Jonah, the man, has done. I see that only the United Nations has pursued that case and brought it, and enough pressure to invest you, sir, country director. As a lawyer, a practicing lawyer who I try to get up to date with the latest decision of the Supreme Court and every high court. That's Jonah's case. This country and the commissioners of law because this country refuse to report it today. Where is Jonah? When I'm talking here, you should confirm to understand. Now, when you imagine that a court said stop, a court order in 2005 said stop gas flaring. Till today, we have all the oil companies flaring gas. The federal government looking the other way, and they all went to court of appeal to challenge Jonah's case. And as we speak till today, the court of appeal refused to give a date to hear that matter. My brother, I have some colleagues here that are lawyers. You know, say when the Supreme Court and court of appeal, when you book them for air like this, you know when they know say they must stop the truth, they will give you the still since 2005 to today, no date. So the conspiracy against you, oil producing communities, the entrenchment of poverty and oppression, first is by your people, by your government, by the people in your community. And so it goes beyond laws because we have the correct laws, we also have the correct order of God. But all of these have been frustrated. Therefore, only advocacy, as I see the drama, when they say all of us are applaud the vote for Niger Delta, not because we are excellent gentlemen, but when we say they don't they push us, they talk about it, they hear nobody, now they make us they carry, you know. So I beg you now, and George will continue their advocacy. I have a lot to say, but I think let me leave it there. Of oppression thrives because of darkness, because of ignorance, because they are done shrouded in secrecy. They are done without the knowledge of the public scrutiny. So what will first of all happen is that we need to first of all raise the standards and make the people and the government to be aware, and then also carry on these forms of naming and shaming. Now, the courts are going through a very serious times now. One would have easily said governments will be taken to court. There will be pronouncements, orders against the government or enforcement of the fundamental human rights of those persons who are clamoring, who are campaigning for change. Unfortunately, we have witnessed a very pathetic situation of non-compliance and disobedience to court orders. So we're not resting much on that. However, we want to now begin to call on the international community and call on those persons who are supposed to be cooperating with government at the international level to begin to now put sanctions in terms of withdrawal of investment, withdrawal of financial corporations from the Nigerian government, and continue to do so in demand that the Nigerian government complies to its own laws and comply to the judgments of its own courts with regards to compensation to the people, with regards to putting an immediate stoppage, I would say, to the continued degradation of the environment by this unhealthy forms of oil exploration. This must stop. And it will not only end, because only the Nigerian government can actually enforce those environmental standards that are being breached by the oil companies. Until the Nigerian government musters enough political will to do so, the oil companies will continue in the breach. In that case, the Nigerian government must now be pressured by its international partners, particularly the government, using the conference of parties that is about to happen in Dubai. I'm talking about COP28. At that point, Nigeria should be called out, and the international community will now demand from the Nigerian government a higher measure of compliance with regards to its own laws that it has made, its own obligation that it has made before the international community. Why should it be that Nigeria will make laws with regards to preventing gas flaring, will make laws with regards to sustaining the communities that produce oil, and then it will violate, and then it will refuse to enforce those laws? Nigeria can do more, the government can do more. And I think that international pressure is one of those things that is yet to be applied to the Nigerian government. And I believe that when it's done effectively, the Nigerian government will begin to comply with that.